Cedar Falls Fire Rescue responds to just over 50 fires per year on average. Gas fires, vehicle fires, or structure fires. No matter what type of fire it may be, the fire department will be there to protect those affected by the fire. Depending on shift schedules, it is difficult to say how many fires a firefighter may respond to in any given year. That is why it's so important to have live fire training events. It keeps the firefighters fresh and ready to respond. For part-time and paid on-call firefighters, there are limited opportunities to gain experience fighting a fire. Cedar Falls Fire Rescue organized this training burn recently to allow those alternative firefighters the chance to gain valuable experience in training in a controlled environment to better prepare them in the event of an actual fire call.
We have all of our alternative staff, the part-time and the cross-trained city employees that are out here practicing search and rescue drills.
Alternative firefighters, which consist of 6 public safety officers, 6 part-time firefighters, and 2 paid on-call city employees, suited up their protective gear. The firefighters attach the air tanks and masks before heading into the artificial smoke training sessions. This planned house burning gives the alternative firefighters a chance to test their skills and see how fire reacts and grows.
The alternative staff supplement the career firefighters when there's a fire. So they come in and they help out and aid the firefighters that are on duty. They've been over to Waterloo to the regional training center to where they've gone into a training building that they can have live fire training in, where it meets all the national standards for safety.
All firefighters wear protective gear, including pants, coats, and helmets to protect them from the intense heat, smoke, and fire. In situations like this, firefighters need to react to the fire and make decisions quickly. That's why the training opportunities are so valuable to the alternative staff.
Well, a firefighter wears a lot of protective equipment when they go into the fire. The helmet, underneath the helmet they've got a hood to protect their ears and their neck, and they have their coat, and they have their what we call their bunker pants and boots. They also wear gloves on their hands. All of these things are supposed to protect them from some of the heat at the fire. Obviously, when you get up to some of the ranges in some of the fires, it's not going to protect you completely. That's one of the reasons why the firefighters try to remain as low as they possibly can. Some of the firefighters I know that were there when I came on used to say, well, when my ears get hot, then I know it's time to leave. Now the firefighters don't have that. They can't feel what the environment is because they're completely protected, which is fantastic for them. They wear an air tank on their back with a face piece, and that provides them with fresh air to breathe. The new ones that we carry now allow the firefighters to get in there for 30 to 45 minutes.
Putting on your personal protective gear and wearing it and knowing how to wear it and make sure you have air and all those things, that's a training event in itself. The water supply to the event that we were doing has its own requirements and equipment and trucks involved in that, so there's a lot to learn there. And then just the part of supplying water up to the fire, hooking the hose and the correct kind of hose and all that. There's things to learn there. And that's not even getting up to the actual training event, the home, the search, the rescue, the fire attack, and all that. It's extremely realistic training, and that has great value in firefighting as it does in a lot of other jobs. But one thing probably unique to firefighting is the amount of equipment and tools and weight and physical strength required to complete the job.
The firefighters enter the smoke-filled structure in small groups. Each group is escorted by an experienced instructor who is there to teach and guide, showing the firefighters how to extinguish the fire and rescue their victim.
It also gives us a great opportunity for some very, very realistic training. I mean, not everybody is going to open up their home so we can fill it with artificial smoke and go in there and practice dragging victims out. But so we do look for these types of structures. When we do training, we try to make it as realistic as possible. The structure wasn't the type of structure we could use for actual live fire training, so we're using theatrical smoke, but you'll see that you really can't even see the hand in front of your face. It's a lot different in a real fire, and this gives the alternative staff a better perspective of what it's like in a real fire when you literally can't see the hand in front of your face, and you got to do everything by feel and by technique and what they've been taught to do.
Being part of a team and knowing what your team members are going to do, we all had a role And so we entered the home, basically are just checking room by room, crawling around in the smoke. You really can't see anything.
The heat is intense up at the ceiling level. It can reach over 1,000 to 2,000 degrees at the ceiling level. At the level that you're at, it's like sticking your head in an oven. So you try to keep yourself as low as you can and allow yourself to move through the house using that rule of right, remaining in contact with that wall so that you'll be able to safely and quickly find the fire, find any victims, and also be able to find your way out. Because we had some people that were brand new firefighters that had just passed their Firefighter 1 exams and they got an opportunity to see a real fire, which was really a good experience for them.
Cedar Falls Fire Rescue wasn't the only crew at this scene. In many rural house fires, neighboring fire departments may be called in to assist. This is especially helpful in the country where no fire hydrants are available.
And then we also have members from the New Hartford Fire Department and the Dyke Fire Department that have come out to help train and also to help us bring in water. Each one of those tanks holds 1,500 gallons of water. So we're basically creating our own water system. And then if this was an actual fire, then we would be running tankers back to a hydrant, filling up, coming back, filling up the tanks. And then the main engine actually drafts water, sucks water out of those tanks, and they can use it to extinguish the fire.
After each trainee has gone through this structure, experienced the smoke, and rescued their victim, it's time to set the house on fire. Normally, firefighters would battle the blaze with the goal of extinguishing the fire as quickly as possible. But on this day, the goal is to burn the structure to the ground. Firefighters will control the blaze to allow opportunities for staff to learn along the way.
This fire was really interesting because we could watch the progression of it as it got up to the first floor, and then to the second floor. We could watch as the fire, what we called, rolled over across the ceiling. We actually could take some temperatures from the outside with our thermal imaging camera. We could see the windows pulsing, and you could see it trying to draw in oxygen.
Firefighters keep an eye on the fire to keep it from spreading to nearby trees and structures, soaking any hot spots that may be close to igniting. In a matter of hours, the fire burns itself out as staff continues to monitor the blaze and keep it under control. After the fire burns itself out, alternative staff finish the training session by wrapping up the hoses and putting their gear away, so all is ready in case of an actual fire call. The experience and education gained from a training burn like this can make a difference in a real-life situation. Reporting for Cedar Falls Channel 15, I'm Luke Hansen.